Hi fellow reefers, I'm Eddie of Eddie's Reef for Korea. Today's video is another update on the Fusion 40. Now this update, I'm going to go and show you where I actually placed the frags that I had on the substrate. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to explain and show what's been going on with certain corals, why I placed them there and why I didn't. So just hold on 1 second and I'll go and talk individually of the different corals. Hold on. Okay, here we are, a full tank shot. And then now I'm going to go individually and show you the behavior of each coral. What's been going on per coral. Okay, and here we have the candy cane, better known also as the trumpet. I decided to leave it in the substrate because the actual frag that I got, since I didn't have really the proper tools and a bandsaw and all that just to frag a couple of corals, I really fragged more than a couple of polyps, as you're noticing here. So I decided just to leave it on the sand because this is really, I bought this way back, and it's really a high-end type of trumpet coral where the polyps, if you follow me, you'll see it on other videos. I mean, these polyps grow exponentially big, like a silver dollar each polyp. So I decided to leave it there for now and just not touch it too much, because where I wanted to put it originally on this upper excuse me, right hand side of the tank, it would have like overpowered the actual view of the tank. So I decided to leave it here. Okay, the Lobo, all I did was it was like around here. I just moved it back a little bit, so then the candy cane would have more space. And it's the Lobo is doing great there. Okay, the Monte Redcap, something interesting has happened. I don't know if you can see it clear, but the Monte has been growing, but then if you notice here, it actually grew like it's growing, encrusting onto the rock, and then down here the same thing. Let me show you. Right there. So right there it's going down, it's encrusting, and here it's doing the same thing also. So that's not going anywhere. The Duncan are growing. The tentacles are more expanded, as you might have noticed from my previous videos. There's a third head on the back. It's doing great. I feed it, all the corals, once a week. I feed them Reefroids. But I'll be adding some other products, and when I get them, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a demonstration and what they're all about. Okay, this other coral, which I had it on the substrate, I decided to put it on this section on the front rockwork. It's encrusting on the side, as you notice. It's an LPS. I don't know, it might be Favitis and not Fabia. But it's a type of like encrusting coral. It's LPS for sure. There's tentacles that come out. Now these two corals that you see on the sand, I've decided to leave them there and just grow them out. The one on the left looks like a war coral. It wasn't doing too well. It was like, it had like a little algae. I cleaned it, I brought it down to the substrate, and it's taken off big time. And then the other one on the right hand side is a chalice, and it's also growing and growing. So I'm just gonna let them grow out a bit more, and then that's when I'll decide what to put them on the actual tank. Now going up on the rockwork, then you have the war coral. This was a little $5 frag, worldwide coral, and it's doing phenomenal. On the left side corner, you'll notice that there is some encrusting. It's starting to encrust a complete plug, shall we say. That's doing great. Now this one is glued. Now this coral, this is one of the high-end corals that I got over at Worldwide Coral. This one's doing phenomenal. When the nighttime, when the blue lights go down, it's like a pale, like a pastel light pale color. This one is not glued on. Now this coral, another LPS, it's got polyps. It's got three, one little one on the back. This one I did have it on the substrate. If you follow me, you would actually see it. I went ahead and I moved it up here, and the polyps are opening up more. It's happier. Now this one also an LPS. It's an encrusting coral. I've seen a colony of this one, and it's gorgeous. It's like a pastel colors in the middle, and this is another. It's another little frag that I got at Worldwide Coral, and it's starting to encrust on the actual plug. So I placed it there, and then what will happen is it will start to encrust on that area on the rock, and away we go. Okay, now these two, if you recall, the one on the top, that's the Hollywood Stunner. Well, I had it at mid-level, where these corals, being LPS, you can put them at mid to lower level. Although my Radiant lights, the XR15 Pro, I do have it at 50%. But apparently it was too much power for them. So as you see here from that beautiful green, it turned out to actually brown. So I did some research, and what they suggest is to go ahead and move it down, move it to a shady area. And then on the substrate, that's the Sapphastria, the meteor shower. Same thing. Now this one, I had it on the sand on the front, but apparently it started to get like brownish. It lost that beautiful green color with the yellow polyps. So also, I went ahead, and it says to put it on a shaded area, and it might take like 2 to 3 months to recuperate the corals. Actually, I'm sorry, the colors. Now, what you're looking at now on the Hollywood Stunner, those little pink and little green dots, you barely could see them. It had actually lost most of them. But now, as I'm shooting this video, I'm noticing they are coming back. So hopefully within 2 or 3 months, it'll recuperate the colors. Then when it comes to the Hollywood Stunner, I'll probably just leave it there. The meteor shower, if it makes it through, then I'll just go ahead and move it around. But so here we are with another full shot of the tank. And as I was mentioning before that I would bring up the thing about gluing. Okay, what I've decided is most of these corals are not glued. They are just anchored in a way that they won't fall, or either by the blue hermit crabs or either by the Mexican snails. I do that, and there's a purpose why. Because as you notice on this video, what happened with the Hollywood Stunner and the meteor shower, the Sapphastria. Although I look at them daily, 3, 4, or millions of times, but sometimes they behave different. Although my Radiant XR15 Pro, I have it at 50%, but you will never know. You know, so what I've done is most of these corals, I haven't glued them. There's only like 2 or 3 that I have glued. I haven't done it for that reason. I want to see how they actually behave, and based on that, then I'll move them around. Or if I see they're doing great and they start to grow, they're happy, and they start to encrust, then either by the encrusting behavior of it, then I don't have to glue them. They'll actually encrust on the rock. But if not, then I'll go ahead and glue them. For instance, a perfect example is the one little coral that I showed you that's in the middle, the one like right over there. That one on the sand, yeah, it was doing great, no problem. But yet, when I went ahead and I raised it and I put it where it's at, the polyps actually have opened up more. So you can imagine if I had actually glued it, which I had on the bottom front section of the rocks. Well, I had to unglue it, I put it on the sand, and then when I place it here, the polyps actually open more. It's more happier. So that's one perfect example of what I'm talking about when it comes to gluing corals. So I just put them all there. Like I said, only the war coral down here, this is the only one that's actually glued. The others, like the Monte Redcap, I just placed it there. It anchored, like you saw on this video, and I don't have to do nothing else. So that's the main purpose. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, just hit the thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And like I say at the end of all of my videos, happy reefing. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.